The light we bury. The first thing Captain Marachan felt was the cold. Not the empty chill of space, but the damp, suffocating kind that clung to bone and breath. Her visor flickered, showing a scrambled heads-up display. The Asterion had gone down hard. She could taste iron in her mouth, the tang of blood and broken circuitry. "Status, report," she rasped. No one answered. The emergency lights blinked once, then died. She heard only the sound of dripping water, a slow, rhythmic pulse in the dark. When she tried to move, something soft brushed against her gauntlet. Not debris, not rock. It moved. "Stay still," a voice whispered. Not in English, not even through comms. The words resonated in her mind, tremulous and alien. Out of the blackness, faint bioluminescence flared, 100 eyes glimmering like pale moons. Slender figures ringed the crashed site, skin slick as oil and translucent as wet glass. They looked like shadows carved from the dark itself. "Do not fear," the voice said again. "You have fallen into the deep. We will not harm you, if you do not bring the fire." Mara's heart skipped. "Fire," she croaked. The figures recoiled at the word, hissing like steam. Then, just as suddenly, they vanished, leaving behind silence, and the echo of a warning that chilled her more than the cold ever could. "Do not bring the fire." They called themselves the Olyari, a people of the deep. Their world, Vareth, was a planet where light meant death. The surface was a barren, glassy wasteland. Their ancestors had fled underground millennia ago, building labyrinthine caverns beneath the crust. The humans, half dead from the crash, were taken to a chamber carved of black stone. There was no flame, no spark. The Olyari glowed faintly from veins of bioluminescent patterns that pulsed beneath their skin, like veins filled with starlight. Dr. Kellen Ortiz, the ship's engineer, muttered, "They live without light. No torches, no fusion lamps, no energy at all. It's impossible." Mara rubbed her temples, coughing against the moist air. "Oxygen's thin. The damp's killing the filtration systems. We won't last a week." Their guide, a young Olyari named Veyra, watched from the edge of the cavern. She tilted her narrow head. "You are sick from the dark?" she asked, the words soft and musical. "Without light, we can't charge ourselves." "No light, no power, no way to call for rescue," Mara said. Veyra flinched as if struck. "Rescue? You mean more fire?" "No," Mara sighed. "Not fire. Just light." But to the Olyari, those two words were the same. In their histories, the sky had once burned. They believed the surface sun had tried to devour them, and their ancestors swore to never let the burning sky touch them again. When Mara explained their plan, to build a solar beacon strong enough to pierce the atmosphere, Veyra's luminous eyes dimmed with dread. "You would summon the old death," she whispered. "You would wake the sky." The Olyari elders forbade it. Their voices filled the cavern council hall like a storm, an echoing chorus of outrage and fear. The air shimmered with heatless bioluminescent flares as they spoke. "Their kind scorched the world once," one hissed. "They bring ruin in their blood. We took them in, and now they seek to bring the burning back." Mara stood her ground, though her lungs ached and her vision swam. "If we can't send a signal, we die down here. We don't want to harm your world, only survive." The eldest, whose glow was nearly gone, turned away. "You speak of light as mercy, but for us, light is agony. Your mercy is our doom." The humans were confined to their chambers. Their dwindling supplies of rations and oxygen canisters felt like a countdown to execution. Dr. Ortiz tried rigging a power cell from scavenged ship parts, but the damp shorted everything. "We need sunlight," he growled, slamming his wrench into the stone. "A single hour of it." Mara didn't respond. She was staring at the faint patterns on the walls, the Olyari murals. Once, long ago, the surface of Vareth had been green. Oceans, skies. Then came the burning age, when something, asteroid, war, or sunflower, had turned the heavens into flame. Veyra visited that night, trembling with guilt. "I told them you mean no harm," she whispered. "They do not believe me. But I want to understand. What is it like to live in the light?" Mara smiled weakly. "Like breathing after drowning." Veyra hesitated, then said, "If I help you, will your light destroy us?" Mara looked her in the eyes. "Not if I can help it." They worked in secret, far from the elders' watchful eyes, Deep in a forgotten tunnel, Veyra led them to an ancient ventilation shaft that reached close to the surface. The air there was thin, almost metallic, but it was the only place high enough for their beacon to reach orbit. Ortiz pieced together a rough transmitter from shattered solar plates and a cracked fusion core. The humans scavenged wiring, circuits, anything that could carry charge. Veyra watched, both horrified and fascinated, as the humans worked with a kind of desperate fury. "You treat death as a tool," she murmured. "You burn the world to live." Ortiz laughed bitterly. "That's humanity in a sentence." When the prototype beacon finally hummed to life, faint blue light danced across the walls. Veyra screamed and covered her face, her skin blistering faintly where the glow touched. Mara shut it off instantly. "We'll shield it," she said, voice shaking. "When it activates, you'll be safe underground." But the damage was done. The light had been seen. Guards arrived hours later, led by the elders themselves. "Traitors," they roared. "You would bring the curse again." Veyra stepped forward, trembling. "Please, if they do not send their call, they will die." The eldest turned to her, eyes dim. "Then let them die in darkness, as mercy." The sentence was clear. At dawn, whatever dawn meant in a sunless world, the humans would be sealed within the tunnels forever. Mara couldn't sleep. The damp air clung to her skin, heavy and cold. In the corner, Ortiz stared at the cracked power core, the last chance they had. "We could still do it," he said quietly. "One last spark. Enough to reach orbit before they stop us." "They'll kill us," Mara replied. Ortiz met her eyes. "We're already dying." Before dawn, Veyra returned, her glow dimmed with fear. "There is still a path," she whispered. "A forgotten shaft. The elders sealed it long ago. It leads to the surface." Together, they moved in silence through the tunnels. The air grew thinner, colder. The black stone gave way to glassy walls that shimmered faintly, remnants of the old firestorm. When they reached the last gate, Veyra hesitated. "This is where my people fled below," she said softly. "No one has walked beyond this door in 1,000 years." Mara placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then let's be the first to walk back." They breached the surface. The humans gasped. The sky above was a void of clouded red, streaked with lightning that flashed across the horizon. The ground glowed faintly with radiation scars, but it was still sky. Ortiz coughed blood. "We don't have long," he said. "Let's light it." Behind them, the Olyari war horns echoed through the tunnels. They were coming. Mara pressed the ignition key into the core. "Then let them see what we see." The beacon ignited. A column of pure white fire surged upward, brighter than anything Veyra had ever imagined. The caverns below screamed with echoed terror. The Olyari fled in chaos, believing the world had ended again. Mara stood before the light, her visor polarizing automatically, and still it burned through her vision. Come on," she whispered. Ortiz slumped beside her, exhausted but smiling. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" "Yeah," she said softly. "It's home." The beacon's flare reached into the heavens, cutting through the choking clouds. Far above, a passing satellite pinged. Then another, and another. The rescue signal had been sent. Moments later, the fusion core overloaded. The shock wave threw Mara backward, tearing her suit and flooding her comms with static. She saw Veyra crawling toward her, blinded by the light, tears of blood streaking her luminous face. "Is this your mercy?" Veyra screamed. Mara reached for her, barely breathing. "No, this is hope." The world went white. Hours later, the light was gone. Rescue ships descended from orbit, guided by the beacon's last pulse. They found the Asterion survivors unconscious on the glass plains, their suits cracked, lungs scarred, but alive. From the tunnels below, the Olyari watched the sky blaze with the humans' metal wings. To them, it was apocalypse reborn. Only Veyra remained behind. Her eyes, burned and clouded, still glowed faintly. Against every fear she had been taught, she climbed to the surface alone. The air stung her lungs. The ground beneath her feet was still warm. But when she looked up, her breath caught. Through the thinning clouds, for the first time in generations, the stars shone. Not flames, not ruin, just endless points of light, steady and alive. She fell to her knees. The legends had been wrong. The light was not death. It was life remembered. And yet, as the human ships lifted away, their engines lighting the horizon like newborn suns. Veyra felt a tremor of awe and terror intertwine. Her people would never see the humans as safe again, but they would never again call light a curse. And